How are you getting on with Song of Solomon? It's not an easy read, is it? I said at the beginning, it's poetry. It's designed to make you stop and think. Some of it's difficult because of the cultural gap. Some of the metaphors and pictures it's using aren't familiar to us. They're Middle Eastern rural scenes, and so it's like, oh, what's going on here? And then just the whole idea of celebrating love, but then how does that point us to Christ? There's lots to reflect on, and it's not the sort of thing that we can quickly pass by. We're designed to, excuse me, designed to stop and to think. So let's have a look at today's passage and see what we can make of this. You are as beautiful as Tirzah, my darling, as lovely as Jerusalem, as majestic as troops with banners. Turn your eyes from me, they overwhelm me. Your hair is like a flock of goats descending from Gilead. Your teeth are like a flock of sheep coming up from the washing. Each has its twin, not one of them is missing. Your temples behind your veil are like the halves of a pomegranate. Excuse me. 60 queens there may be, and 80 concubines, and virgins beyond number. But my dove, my perfect one, is unique. The only daughter of her mother, the favourite of the one who bore her. The young woman who saw her and called her blessed, the queens and concubines praised her. Here is the man then, speaking in praise of the woman. She stands out amongst all the royal personages, the queens and the concubines. She's a looker, and he's able to look at her and the hair and her teeth are like the sheep. Everyone with its twin seems odd to us. I guess the whiteness. Actually, it's healthy to have a full set of teeth. We forget that before the start of the NHS in our own country, a common 21st birthday present was a set of false teeth. So we forget that the benefits we have, and so here is a healthy woman who is a looker, and the man delights in seeing her. She stands out. And then the friends say, who is this that appears like the dawn, fair as the moon, bright as the sun, majestic as the stars in procession? She really does stand out. And the man says again, I went to the grove of nut trees to look at the new growth in the valley, to see if the vines had budded or the pomegranates were in bloom. Before I realised it, my desire set me among the royal chariots of my people. It's gone in one place, and all of a sudden the love that's boiling up in him, his desires that take him in another one. It's these are heady scenes. Come back, O Shulamite, come back, that we may gaze on you. There's a flightiness in all of this as he is overwhelmed by the beauty of his beloved. Why would you gaze on the Shulamite as on the dance of Mahanaim? How beautiful your sandalled feet, O prince's daughter. Your graceful legs are like jewels, the work of an artist's hands. Your navel is a rounded goblet that never lacks blended wine. Your waist is a mound of wheat encircled by lilies. We might be very unfamiliar with the pictures. It might not sound complimentary in our culture, but he's able to enjoy her figure, her appearance. He's taking a delight in her body. Your breasts are like two fawns, like twin fawns of a gazelle. Your neck is like an ivory tower. Your eyes are the pools of Heshbon by the gate of Beth Rabbim. Your nose is like the tower of Lebanon looking towards Damascus. I'm not sure any of us would like our nose to be likened to a tower. But as he's looking from feet to head, he's captivated by the beauty of her form. He's delighting in her physical appearance. Your head crowns you like Mount Carmel. Your hair is like royal tapestry. The king is held captive by its tresses. How beautiful you are, and how pleasing, my love, with your delights. Your stature is like that of the palm, and your breasts like clusters of fruit. I said, I will climb the palm tree. I will take hold of its fruit. May your breasts be like clusters of grapes on the vine, the fragrance of your breath like apples, and your mouth like the best wine. We might be blushing at this point, as clearly he's speaking in terms of physical intimacy here. There's a delight in her body. There's a delight in her appearance, and he's able to enjoy that, and is looking forward to engaging in that intimacy. And then she replies, may the wine go straight to my beloved, flowing gently over lips and teeth. I belong to my beloved, and his desire is for me. Come, my beloved, let us go to the countryside. Let us spend the night in the villages. Let us go early to the vineyards to see if the vines have budded, if their blossoms have opened, and if the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love. The mandrakes send out their fragrance, and at our door is every delicacy, both new and old, that I have stored up for you, my beloved. Again, there's this anticipation of that intimacy. There's all these fruitful pictures to describe the fruitfulness of a healthy physical relationship between a man and a woman, between this pair. If only you were to me like a brother who was nursed at my mother's breasts. Then if I found you outside, I would kiss you and no one would despise me. In the culture, it's not so appropriate to express physically outside unless it's a brother. And she can't wait to enjoy those expressions of physical intimacy and delight, and she wishes in that degree he was her brother. I would lead you and bring you to my mother's house, she who has taught me. I would give you spiced wine to drink, the nectar of my pomegranates. His left arm is under my head, and his right arm embraces me. Again, this is this beautiful picture of embrace and intimacy. And then, for the third time in this poem, daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. There is something beautiful and appropriate about sexual intimacy and physical attraction. It's how God has made us. It's how God has wired us from the way he made Adam and Eve differently and complementary right back in the beginning. This is a beautiful thing. That falling in love, that admiration of the beauty of another, that physical intimacy, all designed by God to be enjoyed within the context of marriage. And hence the warning. Those feelings, those sensations are so powerful. We've got to not play around with them. Don't arouse or awaken them until it so desires. It's got to be the right context, because that can so easily turn to lust or to covetousness or to inappropriate sexual intimacy. And this good thing needs to be cherished and nurtured and delighted in, and cared for. And we need to be careful that we don't misuse it. And so we can see this celebration of love and this warning about that at this level. Where does Christ fit into this? Well, many people will not experience the physical pleasures of sexual intimacy. Not everyone marries. Not everyone is able to enjoy this. Some, sadly, are only afflicted by sexual abuse. And so what about that? And what about those who have enjoyed physical intimacy and now their loved one is gone or they've grown old? What happens then? Well, all the beauty and all the intimacy of this love scene is only temporary, it's only passing. That security of being held in the embrace of your loved one can only ever be temporary because of death. And it is all pointing to that greater relationship, that greater love than any of us have known, that intimacy and love of the Saviour for his people. And he is described as the bridegroom. We are the bride. We are going to know far more permanently and far more wonderfully the delights of intimacy with Christ. Clearly not sexual, but relational, and security and love and being held as we go deeper in our relationship with him. And so let's, if we are married, appropriately delight in the joys of physical intimacy. If we are engaged or in a relationship where we are heading towards marriage, let's enjoy the readiness to enjoy these things within marriage. Let's be very, very careful outside of those contexts. But with all the pain and all the joy that gets mixed up in our human relationships, let's look forward to the greater fulfillment in our relationship with Jesus.